I believe the biggest problem in the world is that people don't understand themselves enough. This show is designed to help you understand your INFJ personality, heal from your past, and create a life that you love. I'm Sarah Kuhn, and this is the Quiet Ones podcast. One of the things that I struggle with the most is a lack of self-love and confidence. Some people call it self-love deficiency disorder. I've spent a lot of time working on this, and I want to share what I've learned with you just in case you struggle with the same thing. On this Thursday episode of the Quiet Ones podcast, we're talking all about confidence. Let's take a listen. So sometimes you know what happened, sometimes you don't know what happened. You just know what the effects of it are. You know what the voice is in your head that's telling you that you don't have enough confidence, that you're not enough. And you know that you're not able to set boundaries. You know that you probably have this feeling that you attract toxic people in your life like a magnet. I had that feeling too, because there were a lot of people who were basically my sister. They had my sister's personality. They did the same thing to me that my sister did. And for some reason, I kept choosing those people to be my friends, to be my boss. And they just kept showing up over and over again. And I didn't understand why. What I learned is that you choose that not because you want it, but because it feels normal to you. It's not normal, but it feels normal because it's what you've always known. And you're more likely to choose what you've always known because it's comfortable. And even though you don't like being treated that way, your mind and your body know how to deal with it. It's kind of like, what's that saying? The devil you know beats the devil that you don't. So you know how to react to that. And there's also this thing that your body gets addicted to those types of reactions, right? So you have somebody in your life who's treating you really bad. You take the situation with my sister as an example, where she was, telling me I need to fix my eyebrows. When that happened to me, I had this reaction in my whole body. I could feel this response. When you get hurt sometimes, there's like this physical pain that radiates through your body. And it affects your mind in a way too, that you get like this adrenaline rush. And so your brain disperses different chemicals or different hormones throughout your body to deal with this fear that's in front of you, this danger that has happened. That's how your body looks at it, right? You have like a fight or flight response. There's also another response in there that most people don't talk about that's called freeze, which was usually my response. But you have this response and your whole body is like on edge and there's all these chemicals flowing and you're frozen in that moment. But if that happens to you every single day, your body gets addicted to that response and then it becomes a habit. Then you're used to that response. So when you get out of that situation, maybe you move out on your own, or if it's your boss who's doing that too, you quit the job and you get a different job. If there is calm and peace, you start itching. You're like, something's missing. What's happening? Like there isn't, and you can't really like put your finger on it. You don't really know because you don't identify in the moment that you're addicted to all of these chemicals and hormones that are running through your body. You're addicted to the trauma response. You just know that something's missing and that you feel weird. And maybe you have a job where your boss is nice to you and you're like, this is really weird. This is not normal. This isn't what I've dealt with in the past. So then you unconsciously go looking for somebody who treats you the same way that you've been treated in the past, not because you like it, but because it's a habit. It's because your body is addicted to that response. So part of healing from the trauma is not only witnessing what you've experienced, but understanding what it does to your body, what it does to your mind, and being able to recognize when it's happening. We as INFJs have this amazing ability to look at other people and to know what they're feeling intuitively, to understand how they're feeling, to give them amazing advice and say, hey, this is exactly what you should do. And we can do it just like that. It's super quick and it comes so naturally to us. And it really is an amazing gift. But the flip side of that is when we're looking at ourselves, it's a lot harder for us to recognize what's going on for us. It's difficult for us to understand our own emotions. Even to be able to name them is a big thing. Only in the last 5 or 6 years have I been able to start naming my emotions as I'm feeling them. Most of the time, I just feel overwhelmed, especially when something big or unusual or something that is triggering a past trauma happens to me. I don't know what I feel. I just know that I feel overwhelmed, and it's a lot, and I can't really name any of the things. Or maybe I don't even want to name the things. It's more like I just know that there's a lot that's going on and I don't know how to fix it. I just want to stay on the couch for like 3 months and watch Netflix and hide from it. But what I've realized is all of that really does is prolong the feelings. It prolongs the pain. And the best way to work through it is to recognize what's going on. It's easier for me to look back in the past and say, okay, this is what was happening at that time. But then once you can do that, once you start naming those emotions and recognizing them, then it's easier to recognize them in the moment, recognize them as they're happening. And then once you're able to do that, then you have a choice in the moment. You can choose what you've always done, or you can choose something different. You can choose something better. You can choose to not let those people control you in the same way that they have in the past. There are a couple of shortcuts, I would say, a couple of tricks. One of the biggest things that I found that's been helpful for me in changing the way that I think and changing it quickly is meditation. I did Gabby Bernstein's 21-day meditation challenge earlier this year, and it basically had 21 different types of meditations to help you get started with meditation. And I wasn't really sure what it was, but having a guided meditation, it's like an MP3 that you listen to, and it's only like 5 or 10 minutes a day. I usually do them in the mornings. It changes so much so quickly. There are some things that she says in the meditation that I had never thought that I had needed, and I would have never thought to even think about these things. One of the things that she says is that I am safe. And when I heard it, the first time I heard it, I thought that's kind of weird. But then I wanted to know, why did she say that? And so I started thinking about it, and I thought, well, I have this anxiety disorder, and usually when I have a panic attack, the things that I feel are I'm not safe. I feel like I'm going to die, and I don't know why. And it usually comes like out of nowhere. And just for some reason, it's like I woke up this morning and I feel like I'm going to die today. And it, like, I don't, there's no reason behind it. It's just how I feel. So when you're telling yourself every single day that you're safe, then that changes the stories that you have that roll through your head all the time. One of the stories that I have that I've recognized is I'm not safe, that it's not safe where I live. It's not safe for me to go out after dark. It's not, there's just so many things that aren't safe. And Plus, you get this constant barrage of fear and anxiety from social media, from television, from the news, from all of these sources. That's the best way to sell people on things, is make people afraid of it and tell people who's to blame for it. So when you have an anxiety disorder to start with, and then you have this constant stream of fear coming at you all the time, you need something to combat that, and you need something that can change that story that's in your head. Excuse me. And that's just one of the things that Gabby says in these meditations. There's one that's called Morning Mantras that I like a lot. And then there's one that focuses on gratitudes that helps you change your perspective in the moment. Rather than focusing on scarcity and fear, you're more focused on gratitude and abundance. Meditation is one of them. Hypnosis is another one. I interviewed somebody on my podcast last year who was learning how to hypnotize people, and I almost didn't interview her because I had always been told when I was young that hypnosis was this bad and dangerous and weird thing. And so that was just what I believed. And I didn't really know what hypnosis was, aside from, you know, the stories that you hear on TV about people being hypnotized and clucking like a chicken and things like that. So when I started asking her about it, she's like, no, that's not what hypnosis is at all. Nobody does that. And that's not what it is. Hypnosis is actually very similar to meditation. And there are hypnosis, like guided hypnosis recordings that you can get that focus on a different brainwave. Rather than the active one, they focus more on changing your subconscious thoughts, which have helped me a lot. So the app that I love, it's by a lady named Grace Smith. It's called Grace Space, I believe. So if you haven't ever tried hypnosis, I really suggest that you give it a try and see what you think, because it's hypnosis is the same as, for me, it's been the same as meditation. It helps a lot. You notice a difference like within the first couple of days. Another thing that helps a lot is yoga, because yoga engages both your body and your mind. And really these tricks, or these ways to change the subconscious thoughts that you have, anything really that engages your body and your mind at the same time, will help you to be able to heal the trauma and to be able to work through it, and mainly to change that story that you have in your head, whatever the story is. Hi there. I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm working very hard to produce content that will help you, and I really, really appreciate your support. Also, if you want some more inspiration, check out this video right here.